The sound in this movie is very good, actually. I was going to mention that.
And the special
you
effects.
must mean the Aerosmith songs.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Every time an Aerosmith song came on, I turned it up as much as I could. So my speakers were very loud for the entire time.
Right.
Basically.
I would have done the same thing, but opposite.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of What a Disaster, the podcast where we watch, discuss, and review a disaster movie just as close to weekly as we can possibly stomach. This week, I am Gregory Allen, which is pretty normal, and I'm here with Richard Sawasinski.
Which is also pretty normal.
And Liz Bador.
Abnormal.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
She's pretty abnormal. This week, we let Richard take the reins here and choose the movie to watch, and he picked a 1998 movie, Armageddon, starring Steven Tyler's Song, Bruce Willis, and quite a few other people. Ben Affleck is in this.
And
Liv
2.5
Tyler.
hours of your free time is in this.
2.5. How is this movie 2.5 hours?
It's so long.
It's really long. And it is such, like, if you look at it, it's so cleanly divided between, like, the different acts of the movie. It's ridiculous. This movie's just silly.
It's super silly and really repetitive.
It's very much like a 1990s wet dream of an action movie.
It's a 1990s Skyrim cave quest that you can do over and over and over to the end of every countdown.
Yeah, it's like go into the dungeon and kill some more draugrs or whatever they call those things. It's definitely a side mission for an RPG. Because they just keep doing the same thing. All right, go do this thing. It's gonna go bad. Think on your feet. Lose a team member. Move
Watch
forward.
the countdown.
Yeah.
New countdown.
So what was the other one that came out around this time was Deep Impact, right? That was
Yeah.
a little different take on it. That was the holy crap, the worst case scenario is happening, we're all going to die. Whereas this one is the worst case scenario is happening, but we're going to fix it, right?
Yeah, I think they were in Deep Impact, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we haven't watched it yet for the
I've never seen it.
podcast. I've seen them both a couple of times. I think Deep Impact, they managed to divert the asteroid enough to where it all doesn't enter the atmosphere, but it enters the atmosphere in chunks. And they have to find cover, so a lot of people find cover, but a lot of people die in that movie.
Gotcha.
Armageddon and Deep Impact actually had a bit of a rivalry going on. If they would have had Twitter back then, they would have been sending each other tweets.
Ooh, they would have been...
Yeah, angry tweeting. It was obviously probably good for both movies, but they were going at each other. And Michael Bay was like, we have the star power of Bruce Willis and not whoever you guys have in Deep Impact.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
Sorry, I was away from my mic. I was trying to find these show notes. Richard was like, I'll just put these in the most precarious place I can for you today.
Yeah,
And
I
he
was
did.
hoping to make your day harder.
You did by existing, buddy.
Oh.
All right, so this one had the Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Ben Affleck. There were a lot of names on this one, for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they
Tyler,
screwed
Will
it up. I
Patton,
mean,
Steve
Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi was in it. Owen Wilson was in it. Michael Clark Duncan.
William Fichtner.
Ken Hudson Campbell. I mean, he was terrific in Inside Herman's Head.
Is that where he's from?
I'm sure I think he was in that. It's have you seen that TV show?
Yes.
Because that
Yes.
is a reference that probably you and I are going to get, and that's about it.
Yeah, wow, that's an old show.
Yeah, it's a real old show.
I did write you an opening on this if you want to look
You
it
wrote
over.
me an opening. Where's the opening? Opening of the show. Hello and thanks for joining. Nope, you don't want me to start there.
No, but I did 10 minutes.
So we did pause for Rick. We did pause for Liz, and we wanted to talk about the movie. What do you want to talk about? You want me to just read your?
You don't have to
blurb
just
here?
read it, but like you see where I
He
wrote
writes
10 minutes.
this thing like we're gonna read it. I've drank
Armageddon
too
is
much
a movie
to
from
read.
1998 that's written by Jonathan.
I'm cross-eyed right
J.J.
now.
Abrams. It was directed by Michael Bay in this movie, and an android after the
Easy. It wasn't an android, and it was an asteroid the size of Texas, hurtling toward the Earth. And I mean, NASA needs to find a way to stop it. So naturally, the response is to hire a team of deep core drillers to, just like deep drill a nuke into the middle of this damn thing and blow their load.
Right, just blow that.
There was a lot of euphemism in that sentence, by the way.
It was.
I was talking about sex with the asteroid,
Yeah.
just so you know.
But
And a drill.
Nobody's got a dick that's 500 feet deep in this movie,
Except the drill.
except the drill.
Yeah.
Which is
NASA has two dicks.
not a euphemism. There's an actual drill in the movie. I wish I knew more about
Three,
the
if you
props
count
in
Billy
this
Bob
because they're
Thornton.
kind of neat looking. Yeah, so estimated budget of like $140 million. And like all movies where America gets destroyed, they didn't, I mean, it did all right in the States. It didn't do badly by any means.
No, of
but
course
it made
not.
way more money overseas, it looks like.
Another $550 million movie overseas. The same as
That's crazy.
What did we watch that also had that? I don't remember. It was San Andreas. Was
Yeah,
also
San Andreas is
the same.
I think The Rock knows what's happening with those movies. Like he
yeah.
very much is aware.
You did miss a line I wrote in here. I just want you to hear this one. The movie takes us on a 2.5 hour journey through a haze of Aerosmith songs and rapidly compounding dangers.
How many different Aerosmith songs are in this?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. I only know the one for sure.
Yeah, they did. They definitely had Sweet Emotion in here. They had
Sweet Emotion was there one
Yeah.
in the stripper scene?
I think so, actually.
Okay.
I maybe Dream On made it in, which would have been smart. That the song they made for this movie, which kind of comes in as a medley and then comes in as a full song at the end.
Now that wasn't Crazy. That was
Wanna Miss a Thing?
Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Yeah. Crazy was the one with Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler in the music video.
He didn't write. They didn't write those songs. Just didn't write Aerosmith at this point in their career were basically.
I mean, they didn't at the beginning and the end of their careers. They didn't write any of their own music.
New managers at NASA, they watch this movie. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do this. They watch this movie and they have to point out inaccuracies. And so far, they found over 160. So that's pretty interesting.
just 160.
Well, I was reading that Michael Bay knew these inaccuracies were there. He was very clear these were there, but he was very consistent on saying, it's just for entertainment purposes. We're going to have fire in space because it's way more fun to watch fire in space than there is to be pedantic about that.
He just wants to put fire everywhere. He's Michael Bay. That's his thing.
Yeah, he's supposed to make fun movies. That's all he wants to do. And I kind of respect that.
He wants a spectacle.
Yeah. And he's one of the best at doing that. You could shit talk Michael Bay all you want. He films explosions better than almost anybody else in Hollywood.
No, I don't like Michael Bay movies.
Me either. I like Bad Boys, but it's charming. And I was a kid when I saw it.
Bad Boys is good. Even Bad Boys 2 was not too bad.
It did.
I wish we could watch those for this podcast.
It did everything right for a buddy cop movie.
It really, it was a solid buddy cop movie.
It improved on Lethal Weapon.
I have a personal
Excuse me,
unfact.
hang on a second. Now you're getting insulting, and that's
Lethal
not,
Weapon with the
that's
4.
not polite.
It brought in Joe Pesci. I'm sorry.
Lethal Weapon 4. First of all, Joe Pesci was in Lethal Weapon 3,
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. So there's no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, there's no problem with Joe Pesci in those movies.
I did like 4 as a kid. All right. Project.
You know who else
Not for
is
the
in
podcast?
Lethal Weapon 4? Jet Li.
Jet Li and Chris Rock. And there's a lot of gay panic stuff because he had a crush.
Yeah, that was the movie
problematic
was actually
film.
on the other day, and I watched it. And I was like, it's not quite.
It's a decent piece of Hollywood popcorn, but it's not the best of Lethal Weapon.
No,
series.
and it certainly didn't hold up culturally, socially speaking.
All right, so we're
So the 168 have been found there. That's pretty cool.
Also, the film crew was allowed to shoot sequences at NASA on an old platform. And one of the things they were told is just don't get in the shuttle because one of the platforms was active. And Ben Affleck got into one of the shuttles and got yelled at.
I would too.
Yeah, I would too.
Given the opportunity, I mean, odds are good I'm just going to get yelled at. I'm probably not going to get arrested for it. If I'm in that position, I'm going to go for it. I'll get yelled at. I've been yelled at before. I can deal with getting yelled at.
I'm getting paid millions of dollars. They're not just going to kick me out the movie now.
Right. And apparently the Bruce Willis just did not care for Michael Bay's direction. And he refuses to work with him again, which is great because I'm glad that I will never see Bruce Willis in a movie directed by Michael Bay again because it would end up looking a lot like that Live Free or Die Hard movie, which was atrocious.
Actually, the writer for this wrote Die Hard with a Vengeance. Not J.J. Abrams, the other writer.
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance was good.
My favorite one. Other than the first one.
You need to before you give me a heart attack, you need to qualify. First one's my favorite, but then Die Hard with a Vengeance. That would have been fine. It wouldn't have given me heart failure. But how you just presented that to me is just...
Yeah, you're right.
You're trying to start fights.
Did you know the first one was
You
based
want
off
to
a
start
book?
fights?
Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that.
I read the book. It's good.
It's in the credits that it's based on a book.
Really good.
Yeah. I've never read the book.
I recommend it. I think I might have it in paperback.
Too many words in books.
Also, Bruce Willis had a second trailer. You like
I
this
just saw that. He's full working gym. It cost damn near $200,000, and he never used it. Yeah. You know who would shame him for that?
The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Bruce Willis is I always seen him as one of those action stars, one of those manly men who like worked out hard once in his life and keeps saying he's going to go back to do it and never does.
Yeah. He's very much the epitome of like midlife crisis. I'm going to get into shape.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now.
He's always in decent shape, but never in great shape.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even in decent shape.
I think you're in decent shape, Greg. Don't cut yourself
you
short.
would think that.
You cut yourself short.
You just wait till you see me with a shirt off later. Then you'll forget. You'll change your mind.
I can't wait. I've seen you with the shirt off so much in my life.
Yeah. You've seen me in my underwear a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you need pants for when you've got beautiful weather?
Yeah.
And nice legs, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So we wouldn't want anyone to miss a thing. So we're going to go on a quick break. And when we return, we will be breaking down all the apocalyptic excitement that is Armageddon.
Remember that time?
Armageddon!
Your Stouffer's pot pie's been on the table almost 10 hours. I want a divorce.
Dottie, I'm onto something big here. I don't know what this is, but it looks like something's burning up there. Go get my phone book, will you? Get my phone book. Get those names of those guys from NASA.
Excuse me, am I wearing a sign that says Carl Slave?
Go get my goddamn phone book! Get the book! Get the book! Get the book!
So the movie opens with the some narration talking about how an asteroid once slammed into the Earth, destroying most life, and the plumes of smoke, and it could happen again.
Yeah. It was very dire.
There's papyrus font.
Was it papyrus? I didn't catch the font. I was yelling at one of my kids when that part was going on.
Yeah.
It might be my favorite part of the movie. That's not true. There's some dialogue I really like in this movie, but I did kind of like the beginning. I was ready. I was like, yeah, blow the Earth up. I'm ready for this.
All right. Yeah, I mean, they pretty much went for it.
We're also treated to an early iteration of Rockstar by Nickelback. I don't know who the actual band is or what the song is called, but that's pretty much what it was. I wrote a
She
quote
wrote a quote down.
It says, "I'm getting ready for the big time."
I'm getting ready.
I made that melody up, but those are
right.
the actual words.
Oh,
They were getting ready for the big time.
they were, and then they didn't. So we start with the Billy Bob Thornton.
Space Boss.
Space Boss. Captain Dr. Space Boss. What are we calling him?
He's failed astronaut Space Bob. I call him NASA Man.
Space Bulb?
I put Michael Bay was Colonel.
I call him NASA Man Billy Bob.
NASA Man Billy Bob. We're just going to call him BBT.
All right.
So BBT is taking somebody through like there's a shuttle, or is it ISS or something? I don't know.
He's talking somebody through a spacewalk. They're making some minor repairs.
He loses somebody, and this is the introduction to the asteroid. I mean, it's who fucking cares?
A bunch of debris hits them. They all die.
Some debris, and there's some deaths, and they're
We
like,
get our
"Oh
first
my
death
God."
though. 3 minutes into the movie.
Oh yeah, first death. Like
You put
within
5.
just a few
That's
minutes.
not
in.
true. It's about 3.
His
lied
notes
to
say
me.
5. He says 3.
I wrote those.
I say who
2
cares?
hours ago.
The
Yeah.
first death was pretty early in this one, as they pretty much just get the ball rolling with an astronaut dying. Millions and millions of dollars of United States tax dollars blown to bits.
And 2 men.
And 2 men. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. The people, the lives, the
Space
human
heroes.
cost is the part that we really need to focus on this one.
Space heroes, Greg.
Space heroes. So Space Hero out there on the fixing a thing and just blasted into bits by space debris. Space debris starts trashing the Earth in various places. So my favorite part about this movie, because this is where we start, like, the government's freaking out, right?
Yeah.
Like, it could be bad guys. It could be anything. They need to know what it is before they start freaking out.
Yeah, they didn't detect it. They did not detect the asteroid. They had no idea it was coming.
What was the scene with the guy with the homemade observatory
Yeah.
just yelling at his wife?
That was a weird scene.
That really, it was.
He was the first civilian to catch it, so he was the first person to report it.
Yeah.
That was a
And
really.
he's just yelling.
He's
It was-
treating her like garbage.
Yeah.
I didn't like that scene. I didn't like the way they treated women in this movie. One of the things I write.
You mean the 2 women that were in it?
Yeah, one of the things I wrote in the notes at the beginning, I was taking on some of the stats. This movie got a 38% on Rotten Tomato, but also really
it's so bad.
it also really failed the Bechdel test, which is to test whether or not you have 2 females in a movie, and if they have they can have a conversation without it being about a man.
Is
for
that
one
it?
scene.
I feel like it's been expanded on.
It's very specific.
It's like within the first certain number of minutes now, but this movie didn't pass even in its entirety.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's got like 3
Even in the
women in it total
easiest-
anyway.
Even in the easiest version of this, basically the easiest version of this, you have to have at least 2 women in your movie having a conversation in one scene,
Not
and-
about love.
and at
or a
least
dude.
having part of that conversation has to be not about a man. You could talk about a man in that conversation, but it has to also include something else.
Okay.
That's the easiest version. And this movie doesn't even have 2 women in a scene talking to each other.
Yeah.
It's let alone any of these women talking about anything other than the men in the movie. Pretty sad.
Watts doesn't talk
talk.
too much about. Yeah, she doesn't have enough lines of dialogue to really talk about
Yeah.
anybody, or to anybody.
She
for
certainly
that
doesn't
matter.
talk to any other ladies.
Right. I mean, she's in space. There are no ladies in
There are
space.
2 women
That's
built
one
in
thing
this movie.
One thing I learned about space from this
Yeah.
movie is that there are no women there.
Well, they killed some people in New York. Not a big deal. They named the asteroid Dottie, which is kind of cool,
Dottie.
funny.
Mhm.
These old movies, these old disaster movies, they always kill when they murder people in New York City. They always murder at least one guy wearing an I Heart New York shirt.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
wear that fucking shirt. It's bad. It
I
just makes
don't-
you a target.
Is it a rule that you have to have an I Heart New York like logo somewhere if you're filming something about New York? Like even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
In the 90s, yes.
Like this lady got her TV stolen and there was an I Heart New York sticker on
There
it.
was. In the late 80s, early, and all through the 90s, that was an absolute rule. I don't think they would even give you a rating unless they had somebody with an I Heart New York shirt in your New York scene.
Right.
So, yeah, in this movie, it certainly had one. That guy died. This
And
movie
there are
went through a lot of
things in these
rewrites.
2.5 hours.
And actually, the whole love scene that we'll get to, the love story, was shoehorned in after they saw Titanic. And we're like, oh, the teenage girls love the love scene in Titanic, so we have to do that too. Literally what they did. And they rewrote this whole movie. It was originally going to be a lot more about Bill Bob Thornton's character, Space Boss.
They should have done that.
yeah,
I
they
feel like
should
they should have gone that route.
Oh, yeah. It made this movie a lot worse.
Yeah. So BBT is trying to figure out basically the plan for saving the planet.
Yeah.
And his idea is, okay, well, I guess it's not his, but the team of scientists that are determined to solve this problem have figured out that the best solution would be to land on the asteroid, a manned mission, drill, like 500 feet in, blow up a nuke so that it splits it and both halves separate and it narrowly misses the Earth.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, they basically want to, just fuck a nuclear missile right into the center of this
they want
asteroid.
to crack in the world that asteroid.
They want to
Wow.
fuck it in the asteroid.
Yeah. And I honestly, probably the best plan in this movie. It's I mean, why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be
Why
fair,
not?
the movie made a lot of money, so making the movie was a good plan, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything that said that you couldn't drill a nuclear missile into an asteroid to get rid of it.
I mean, there's probably a lot of stuff that they couldn't have been doing in that movie. I like that they explain away gravity on the asteroid by you have these jets. These jets will keep you, right there.
Well, they were
on
the moon
on
also
the
has
asteroid.
gravity, and you're closer than the moon, so you would have some gravity, I think, from Earth. I'm not a space doctor, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
it
Neither was
seems,
anyone that worked on this movie.
seems like a reach
Yeah.
that they would be able to land on this thing that's moving a bajillion miles an hour.
Matching speed, I think, would have been probably
There were a
most
lot of
fantastical part.
physics challenges that I don't feel like were
Plus, we all know
addressed.
if you slingshot around the large body in space, you'll time travel. And
Yeah, I
that's a
learned
huge
that from
problem.
Star Trek, where they save the whales.
Yeah, all the Star Treks. That's how they do it. Yeah.
Don't just sit there and act like we don't know about time travel, please, Michael
Yeah.
Bay.
Come on, Michael
grow
Bay.
up.
Relax.
Who's paying you to hide time travel from us, Michael Bay?
The government.
Who is it?
Deep,
I want a name.
the Deep Space Science Coalition.
Deep Space Science Coalition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, bright idea. We have to go get a dude that knows about drilling stuff.
The drilling man.
Captain Drill.
The genius
Bruce
driller.
Willis himself, Captain Drill.
They were like, somehow this guy knew at the top of his head, he was like, I know somebody who has drilled the most drilling he could ever drill.
This
He's
is the
best
drilliest
driller."
driller that's ever drilled. He played Mr. Drill in the arcade a lot.
24
Is that a
million
game,
people
Mr.
in LA
Drill?
alone.
He
How
played
does-
Dig Dug. He knew exactly how to get monsters pumped up.
No internet. This guy just, at this time,
Just,
really.
he just knows.
knows.
BBT knows about Captain Driller.
Yes. Oh my god. Well, I love the first scene when we get to meet Bruce Willis, which is the next scene. He's playing golf on the carrier.
Yeah, so that scene feels like an episode of Last Man Standing. Like, just hitting golf balls at the Greenpeace boat because fuck you, it's an oil rig. Bleh, political correctness is bullshit. Bleh. What the fuck is ecological disaster? Bleh.
Never happens. Although, like 10 minutes later, the oil rig starts to explode oil everywhere into the ocean because they're stuck at their job and they can't control their fucking drilling.
And they can't control their emotions. Chasing people around with a damn shotgun
on an oil rig.
On an oil
rig. And Greenpeace is they're the bad guys in this scenario.
Greenpeace is the bad guys because they're too political correct. Global warming's not real.
No, oil's American.
Oil is American. I like that. I like that attitude, Richard. All oil is American. That's why we collect it from everywhere.
We're Americans here, Liz.
So I want to talk about the very awkward introduction we had to Bruce Willis's, what's his name? Harry Stamper?
Harry Stamper?
Harry Stamper's daughter, Grace.
Captain Drill's daughter, Grace.
Captain Drill's daughter, Grace.
Liv Tyler.
She's immediately hypersexualized and appears to be going through this rebellious phase or something. It was really, like, a strange interaction, but it's never brought up again. It's just like peace and happiness and domestic tranquility for the rest of the movie and nothing but happy memories. So,
Yeah. Well, Bruce Willis isn't happy that he caught Ben Affleck, AJ, in bed with his daughter.
She was like rubbing it in his face though, which was really, really weird to watch.
Because they're banging on their oil rig in this tiny little room. And Bruce Willis just walks into AJ's room, doesn't even knock.
AJ's the best driller that he got.
Yeah.
I mean,
but AJ screwed up, and that's why the oil rig blows up a little bit, because AJ rushes the drilling process. He likes to blow the tranny. And he starts chasing AJ around with a literal shotgun for having sex with his daughter who consented. It's garbage. It's garbage.
Wait, did we move past the part where we actually discussed that they took a helicopter to an oil rig to say, hey, drill guy, we need you to come with us right now.
We got a first helicopter.
First helicopter's pretty. They don't tell him that though on the rig. They're just like, get your shit together, we're going. And he's like, all right, well, I got to bring my kid. And they're like, well, all right.
Bruce Willis brought his kid so that she would have sex with.
Yeah, he's just trying to
Ben Affleck.
King cockblock over there, stopping his daughter.
Oh, the president wants to talk to me. I'll only go talk to the president if I can bring my kid.
Yeah.
Oh, matters of national security and utmost importance. Yeah, still bring the kid or no dice.
Right. They agree. They go.
Yeah, they do.
And so fucking weird, man. Who the fuck is like, let's bring drill guys to shoot them into space?
Ben Affleck actually said to Michael Bay, why aren't they just training? Wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to be good drillers than it would be to train drill guys to be good astronauts?
What did Michael Bay say to Ben Affleck?
He told him to shut up.
Shut up.
He told him to shut up.
Goddamn right, shut up.
It's a movie, damn it.
Not a good one, but it's a movie.
Yeah.
Michael Bay didn't know it wasn't good.
It was an American rah-rah film. So you had to have the working class hero. That's what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Freedom.
We get the vibe that for the most part everybody is totally willing to work with and for Bruce Willis because he's the king of all drill people, and apparently that means if you taking a job drilling stuff, you want to be working for Captain Driller. Harry Stamper.
He's kind of a dick, Harry Stamper, actually.
You pick a character in this movie that is not a dick, that is not Billy Bob Thornton.
Owen Wilson's character.
He was so nice.
All right, I'll go with that one.
That's it, though. I had to really think about that. This movie was 2.5 hours long.
I know, it's 2.5 hours.
I watched this movie in 4 pieces. I couldn't deal with it.
The important thing is,
end of it twice.
We have the crew, and everybody's coming. So we got Steve Buscemi, Owen Wilson, Michael Clark Duncan, Will Patton, and Ben Affleck. Plus a handful of other fairly disposable characters.
Yeah, honestly.
You get the vibe that they know and love each other, and you get some attitude out of some of them, and I
do like when Bruce Willis looks at Ben Affleck's character AJ and goes, "There's not a job on this planet I would work with you on."
You would like that. That's the line that made everybody laugh in 1998.
No, it was stupid.
It still pisses me off to this day.
Because the camera stops for a second.
Don't take my scornful stare as you not being allowed to like that line. I'm ashamed of you, but you're allowed to like that line.
It's stupid, Greg.
It's stupid because it's stupid. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. And
It's not break time yet.
How far into the movie you want to go? There's no. You got to break in
An hour.
an hour into the damn. How far into?
We didn't talk about the beer yet. We can talk about the break.
We're going to talk about the beer before the break. I thought that was post break.
I thought we were going to talk about it first. We already took our first break.
Post break. Fine, we can do the beer. We're not taking a break. Richard is calling his shot, and he wants to talk about this beer. He's super pumped about this beer. Tell us about the beer, Richard.
We got Space Rock.
By who?
Shorts Brewing.
How's it taste?
Like space and rocks.
I haven't had any.
Let's have some.
Is it good?
I think so.
Get me one.
All
Pour
right.
some in my mouth while I lay back. Don't spill a drop on my couch. These were very expensive. They're not very expensive.
Just throw it at him.
But I really can't afford to replace them. So Richard has handed me a 12-ounce bottle of ice-cold Space Rock by Shorts Brew. It's an American pale ale, hopped with some tasty little nuggets of alien technology. The label is a man in a ski hat and a flannel coat, riding barefoot on what appears to be a snowmobile in outer space.
And it says, because aliens exist.
Because aliens exist.
Crafted to remove gluten. Oh, that's nice. I didn't know
Crafted
that.
to remove the gluten. I don't know if it means
The
it's
gluten content
gluten-free.
of this product cannot be verified, and the product may contain gluten.
There may be gluten.
It's fermented from grains containing
Fermented from
gluten.
grains containing gluten.
As grains are wont to do.
They do have the gluten sometimes. I'm going to drink this beer now. Let me take you down the road to Beer Town. Quick sip. Very refreshing. It's very citrusy and bitter, like a pale ale should be.
Wow.
The feel of bug spray plays on the back of my tongue. The bitterness overwhelms every other part of it. This beer is fine, I guess. Not my favorite, but not the worst. If you like pale ales, I would suggest you drink it.
It's a nice little 5.5%.
Also,
no, 5.0%.
If you like IPAs, I suggest slightly looser pants because you're probably wearing skinny jeans.
Yeah, Greg.
Guilty as
I think this is
charged.
actually like I do like IPAs a little more than you do. I think, and
You
this
do.
This is a smoother IPA.
It
than,
is.
than a lot of the IPAs, and it doesn't really have that strong bug spray aftertaste. That
It's
some of them
it's
have.
just the aftertaste. It's not as full frontal as it is in like a double hearted.
But I was really excited. I've been waiting to do this one because of the name.
Have you had this before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what do you? I was excited. to do
I was
this.
excited because of the name.
It's called Space Rock. It's the perfect beer for this movie.
I know.
Only better beer would be Armageddon beer.
I
that
was
one
thinking La Fin du Monde
thing?
by Unibrew.
That one is. Oh god.
That'll fuck you up,
That
though.
one is an option for so many different movies, though. Too.
True.
I also
Space
got
Rock is perfect.
I also got
for
Freedom
Armageddon.
78 from Shorts. It's nothing to really write home about, but it's it won this space was called the Freedom. So
I liked the Freedom. Freedom 78. That was pretty good. It was a little milder, a little less in your face with flavor. It tasted a lot like a less bitter grapefruit juice.
It has some apricot in it or something.
Yeah.
So it was.
I liked the Freedom 78. I liked it more than I like this.
Yeah,
What is
okay.
this? The Space Rock?
I like the Space Rock more, but I like them both. I just
didn't-
thought
I don't dislike it. It's fine. Yeah. So, how did you feel about the beer, Liz? We're instead of steamrolling over you
Well,
and
I
not
thought you
letting you
talked about
talk
it.
about it at all.
No, I've always liked Space Rock. It's a good chill beer if you're going to be out for the evening. It's not super strong. I like IPAs a lot, so
what'd you say? Like,
tasty.
should we give these things rate? Let's just give. I think we should be simple with our beer and just say drink it or don't. I give this one a drink it.
yeah, totally.
I mean, I would drink both of the beers.
Yeah. Drink it.
I honestly haven't tried the Freedom of 76 yet. I need to do that.
All right, so we're back to the movie where we got just in case we forgot, some more asteroids blow up more crap on Earth
Yeah.
because this thing is bad news.
Yeah. There's some more debris. There's, we could go kind of quick to this part. There's montages like you'd expect, and there's something interesting about these montages. They actually got the duties at NASA because NASA thought this would be a great piece of recruitment. So NASA was like, this would be a great piece of recruitment. So they let them actually do this stuff. They put on like $5 million spacesuits and stuff, and got to like hang out. Actually, they're $10 million spacesuits, and they got to hang out in the tanks and stuff. So these are real NASA facilities. That's actually the most fascinating part about this movie.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, I kind of want to rewatch the montages just so we see these cool places. Now that I know they're real. But
the big vacuum chamber and
Owen Wilson's really underused in this movie. He's maybe got a dozen lines, if even.
yeah, this was kind of before he was super famous, right?
It really was. But he had this one line in here. It's like, he's like, "What's it like up there?" The guy tells him a lot of like what's like up there, and he goes, "Right, scariest environment imaginable." All you had to say was scariest environment imaginable.
Yeah.
That felt like an Owen Wilson punch up. Even Affleck comes through.
So the dialogue's not entirely unnatural.
It's actually kind of good compared to a lot of these
It's
movies.
just the story that's bad.
Actually, you know what Billy Bob Thornton said about this movie? It's not that bad. He's right. It's just too long.
It is
If this was
way
a
too
90-minute
much
movie,
movie.
I probably would have loved it.
It's too much movie, and
Yeah.
especially now they need to cut like all the overt sexism and there are a couple things in this movie that are just they rub me the very wrong way.
Throw in Melissa McCartney, make it 90 minutes. I love this movie.
Yeah.
Also, you see Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler making out in a tube during a Aerosmith song. This is the first time this happens, but it does happen other times in this movie. And if you don't know this, Liv Tyler's dad is Steven Tyler, old lady Steven Tyler, and
He does look like a nice old lady, though.
yeah, he does. He wears pretty hats, and it's really
Excruciating to watch
excruciating to watch.
and listen to.
Yes. Talk about this movie some more.
No, I don't want to anymore. I didn't want to when we started. I don't
We're at
want
50
to
minutes.
now.
We're at 50 minutes, Greg.
50.
There was one other funny scene. All the people agree to do it. Of course, they're going to do it. They're never going to pay taxes again. And Bruce Willis has to read his demands.
The list of demands.
This is kind of funny.
They could have been so much funnier.
It could have been funnier, but they actually wrote the demands down on a piece of paper. Airheads did it better with the football helmet full of cottage cheese.
Yeah. Airheads definitely did the demands better. And that movie was good too. Is that a disaster?
Wish.
Can we do that one? We're at 1 hour.
We're 1 hour, right?
NASA's doing an emergency launch, but they don't know exactly what's happening. The news is covering this, of course, because there's a giant fucking asteroid wrecking shit, and they're getting ready to launch. Harry's like, we're definitely going to go up as a space team, and we're going to space drill this space asteroid to space hell, and then we're going to blow it to space bits.
Yeah. And everybody's like, great. We're on board.
There are a lot of people who are pointing out the flaws in this idea.
But they're all dumb. They're wrong.
They're definitely
It obviously
dumb.
works. And there's one last tidbit. I guess Harry invented the fucking drill that they're using.
God, can
Yeah.
that bullshit not? Of course, it looks familiar. It's my design.
They would have just asked him from the get-go. They wouldn't have made this so difficult.
No.
It was stupid. They would have told him in the fucking helicopter they're using his drill and get him prepared.
We're using your design.
And this is what problems we're having. Could you help us? Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
What did he say? A piss poor job of.
Yeah. And he was being a
building
dick
it?
about it too.
Yeah. I didn't say you did a bad job. I said you did a piss poor job.
Yeah. And then they all get on the fucking shuttles to go in outer space.
Yeah.
They have to sit there for 2 hours. What if you have to pee?
So Steve Buscemi borrows $100,000 from a loan shark
that's right.
because he thinks he's going to go to space and never come back and that the world's going to end. Sweet. They go to like a strip club and get
And the
into a
guy
bar
gives it to him
fight.
for some reason.
Yeah,
The
I
whole
don't
time
think
he's like, I shouldn't have given this to you.
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that was the strip club was stupid.
There's some, the strip club was stupid. It's just a bunch of crap.
One of the
That's
guys who
stupid.
they don't really even who never has
All
any
these
other scenes.
The montage is only there to establish the attitudes and the characters of the rest of the crew that's going out to space, and it didn't serve much purpose. It didn't really move the plot forward much for me, and it was a little too long.
Yeah, exactly. And then
This whole movie was a little.
And then
too
the two
long.
space shuttles are called the Freedom and Independence because they're taking two into space because NASA does everything in twos, so you didn't want redundancy. So you take two of these shuttles into space, the Freedom and Independence, and they launch without problems. But lots of whooshing sounds in my speakers.
Yeah,
The sound of this movie is actually pretty good.
the sound in this movie is very good. Actually, I was going to mention that.
And the special
Oh, you
effects.
must mean the Aerosmith songs.
Oh yeah.
I do. Every time an Aerosmith song came on, I turned it up as much as I could. So my speakers were very loud for the entire time.
Great.
Basically.
I would have done the same thing, but opposite. I always thought Aerosmith was like a broke ass version of the Rolling Stones, right?
Yeah, that's how I've always felt too.
Yeah.
I'm told that I have permission for us to take a break now. So we're going to take a quick break. We will be back in like 30 seconds where we will count down all the countdowns. Not going to say I love you.
Oh, okay, we're floating into outer space. Check main switch.
This could be a little bit of a problem.
Thrust is on.
All right, turn them on. What's wrong?
I don't know that.
The thrust is not working. I hate this machine.
Don't
thought you had this plan. Be quiet, you must speak. I'm stepping outside.
You're going outside?
I am the only certified astronaut. I'm saving your American ass.
Yes, you listen to him. Right.
All right, we are back. We're still talking about Armageddon, I hope. Well, unfortunately, I guess. Anyway, so we are now leaving Earth. We are docking with a Russian space station where Lev?
Yeah,
His
Lev,
name was?
yeah, that's his name.
He's been there for 18 months alone.
Kooky.
He's lost his dang gourd. He tells everybody he's a Russian hero and blah, 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 blah. And so we're up in space now. Yeah?
We are in space. They need to refuel because you burn all that fuel getting into space.
Yeah. Makes sense. Why not send him up with enough? But, who am I to judge?
This scene was really frustrating because Lev gives Ben Affleck all these instructions on what to do as the space station is fueling. He's like, when the meter goes above this point, turn this knob, do this thing. If it keeps going, pull this lever. And Ben Affleck waits to like the last minute to pull the lever, and it breaks off and doesn't tell everybody things are going bad. And things go real bad for that space station. Real bad.
Oh, yeah. The space station was just one stupid thing after another stupid thing.
Yeah, explodes, but...
I think Russia's going to be a little mad about that.
And the thing was going to fall to the Earth eventually anyway,
It was in
right?
disrepair, yeah. They get off just in time, but everything's Ben Affleck's dead for not the last time in this movie.
Yeah.
A miracle.
Because they sent the two ships up.
Yeah.
And they're not supposed to meet up on the asteroid. They're supposed to just take care of their shit. First team to get the 500 feet, drop their nuke, blow it up, get off of there and go.
First team to get 500 feet gets to leave the asteroid. The other team has to stay.
They stay there and they just die. Ride the wave of explosion to Death Town.
But nobody dies on the space station, even though it was
it was
precarious.
bad
Total
stuff.
shit show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so they leave exploding shit town, which I kind of liked the scenes on the space station. I like the actor that plays the Russian guy. I think he's in John Wick now, isn't he?
Is that where he's from?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in John Wick, playing a Russian guy.
Yeah, he is. He's great. He's great.
Yeah, I like that act. I like a lot of the actors that are in this movie.
The actors alone are very charismatic.
The story is just so unfortunate. So everything goes wrong. They decide that they are going to take Lev with them to outer space instead of, well, I guess more space. He's already in space, right?
Yes.
So it's time to go to the asteroid, and they overshoot, right? Like, that's why they have to start.
Well,
something gets screwed up.
The moon was supposed to clear off all the debris on the tail of the asteroid with the gravity pull from the moon. That didn't happen. Imagine that. So these are like space shuttles. They're not the Starship Enterprise or the Millennium Falcon. You can't really turn these things. So they just fly into the debris, and one of the asteroids crashes and the other one overshoots and almost crashes and lands a little bit like off the mark. And the one that crashes kills Owen Wilson. He's out. He's out of the movie.
Owen Wilson's done. He did
gone.
Not the same kind of crash as Wedding Crashers, but
no. I mean, he got paid too.
Vince Vaughn was nowhere around.
Gone.
Yeah, no, Vince Vaughn would have saved him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Owen Wilson's gone, which is a bummer for me because I actually kind of liked Owen Wilson in this movie. He was just like a cowboy. He was all right.
I don't even care. I like Owen Wilson.
Yeah, me too. I like him.
There's very little that I've seen with Owen Wilson where I'm like, come on, man, really? That's how you're going to do that? No, he's been good to me.
That's it for old Ben.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, not for old Ben, for Owen. Ben's still alive.
Old Owen.
It's funny because every time I wrote Ben Affleck in my notes, I wrote Matt Damon first and crossed it out.
She called him Matt Damon from the get-go. Was a problem.
Every single time it's crossed out every time I wrote
You know what?
his
I'm
name.
fine with that. I wish Matt Damon was in this. It's a shame he was stuck on Mars.
Yeah, he was making potatoes.
Man, that movie was great.
I really like that movie.
Man,
Liz
that
read
movie
the book.
was awesome. Yeah, you read the book, The Martian?
Oh, I did. I read The Martian.
Nice.
It was so good. Oh.
Greg, I want to say something about this movie Armageddon that I think you'd approve.
Okay.
No airlock deaths.
No airlock deaths.
Nobody got depressurized. Yeah, it was.
Oh, perfect. They're in space and they didn't die the one way that everybody always dies in space movies, where there's, man, that's good thinking.
Yeah, I mean, the shuttle did
Even
crash.
Geostorm had people dying from the airlock.
The shuttle did crash, but you died just as much from the crash as you did from the loss of oxygen.
I mean, you were going to go either way. So now we're on to a really cool looking asteroid, right?
Yeah. I like the way that it's kind of cheesy. It's like a late 90s music video.
Game.
I liked it.
It's very, very cheesy. I do not like the asteroid. We were talking about this a little earlier.
Yeah.
Rick's a fan. and so I didn't want to like sell it short. I think it looks dumb and cheap and awful.
Yeah.
Richard said that he wants to paint his room like that, and then maybe go get the aggro crag from Nickelodeon Guts.
Oh man, yeah.
He wants a chunk of the aggro crag to leave in his bedroom.
I would love that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but Richard's bedroom is my bedroom.
Well, you're gonna have to talk to him about his design choices.
About our crag. Is what you have to talk to me about. There was something else going on funny in this. They crash land, a bunch of people. Oh, because everybody assumes Ben Affleck's dead at this point.
Right.
Is it when he says, "Let's drill through this turd"?
That was pretty good.
Also a good line. And really,
Lots
you
of
don't
great
hear
lines.
that very often unless you're having anal sex.
You know, I think it's also a good slogan for our podcast.
Let's drill through this turd. That's kind of how I feel right now.
But this isn't like our buddies at every horror movie said the same things. I feel like I'm ripping them off, but this isn't a bad movie podcast. But it isn't a good movie podcast.
Right. No, we're not
either.
going out of our way to find the charming flicks.
I picked Armageddon because I thought it would be charming, and it
Because
is.
it's Ed Bedore's favorite movie.
Yeah, it is a charming movie if it was 90 minutes.
Like, I'm still looking at our notes, and there are just so many minutes left.
Lots of minutes, but there's not a lot of story left. So that's the good news. Yeah. So Ben Affleck, Michael Clark Duncan, and Lev, the Russian, they're presumed dead by NASA. NASA assumes they're dead.
Yes, they're out of contact because the asteroid is spinning more than they thought it was spinning. I mean, to be fair, they didn't have much time to get all this stuff squared away, so I get it.
NASA shit the bed all over this movie. If it wasn't for those hardworking drilling Americans, we would have been
That's
fucked.
right.
Yeah.
Send those space Americans out there to get that drilling done.
See what science gets you?
Only thing we're good at is killing people and drilling people.
That space boss doesn't even have a leg.
He's got a leg. It's just got like a bolt on it.
He's a bolt. He's bolted on. He's
Not the
That's a
same.
bolty leg.
Yeah, space boss
Old
can boss
bolty
without a
legs.
leg. You don't need legs to boss.
No, you can boss people from a chair even.
You can. Yeah.
You ever told somebody what to do from a chair? It feels great.
It's amazing.
Will you please get that thing and get it out of here?
It's your job. Do your job.
What am I paying you for?
Sit
These are
around.
the sorts of things you can say in
You
a
got
chair.
time to leave. You got time to clean.
That's right.
Yeah. So Ben Affleck's going to take the armadillo, their space rovers.
Yeah, that's their spaceship.
And he's going to try
Their
to drive
space
it to
car.
Harry. You know, that's
He's
what
going
he's
to
like.
drive the space car
Yeah.
across the asteroid, which he has no idea where anything is. They have no way to determine where anything is, but they are going to drive there.
There's a
until they
beeping
find it.
sound.
Oh, there's a beeping sound. Yeah,
Drive
that
towards
should
the
be
beep.
fine because there's no way that an asteroid filled with iron would ever stop a beeping sound from making it through. Sorry, you got something to add there, Liz?
No, just
You're giving
looking at
me a
you.
look
Just
like I'm doing something wrong
side-eyeing you
here.
over the microphone.
Don't you side eye me.
She believes in the beep. Liz
Liz is a beep believer.
beep proponent.
I'm a beep dream believer.
Ben Affleck doesn't even know how to
I
drive
was
this
singing.
fucking thing. He doesn't.
Nobody knows how to drive the damn thing. It's a space car.
He's a drill man, not a space car driver.
That's right.
And all his pilots are dead, but he figures it out because he's a genius, hardworking.
You
American.
get Space Mario Andretti, you want a space car driven. As an old reference, but I couldn't think of any other race car drivers. Space car drivers? Space car drivers.
Space car drivers, yeah. So Ben Affleck's kind of awesome in The Rover. It's actually the most entertaining 15 minutes of this movie is when he's arguing with the Russian.
Yeah.
About it's good. That's a piece of.
I want
that movie.
Yeah. I want 2 hours. If you're going to make a 2.5 hour long movie, make it Ben Affleck arguing with Russian guy that they just met that's crazy.
It made me laugh. It made me smile. It made me
Lonely Russian man.
Lonely 18 months of loneliness Russian man and Ben Affleck.
Yeah. It made me laugh. It made me forget this movie sucked for a minute. It made me think maybe the movie gets better from here on out.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It gets worse because they take us away from that sequence.
Just death clocks from here on out.
But I do love Spaceman, the Russian spaceman. He's like, well, the thing's fucking shitting now. We got to get out there and fix it. And I'm the only astronaut here, so.
Yeah.
And he climbs out, gets into the airlock, gets out.
He's not
the
an
lines are
astronaut.
frozen.
He's a cosmonaut.
What the fuck ever. It's all the same space shit.
Brave as hell. Brave as hell. Let's be
Bravest
honest.
man in this movie.
He gets out and like hangs behind his thing and
He's just holding on tight.
Yeah.
And then they fucking
assumed he was going to
shit.
die. He assumed he knew out there he was going to die.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
he was
For
like,
sure.
I'm
I thought he
yeah.
was done. Because so they're trying to get there, and Space Rover's like, oh, shit, a ravine. How are we supposed to cross this damn ravine? Go fucking figure that something unexpected was between them.
Every point in this
Who'da
movie,
thunk
from
it?
the point where they get fuel, everything they do in this movie, they're
Is
hit
wrong.
with a problem that could cause the death and does cause the death of many people.
Yes.
No, the simplest thing goes wrong. It's gets really, really predictable.
Fueled by a Steven Tyler soundtrack.
School, yeah.
Michael Bay gets itchy when nothing's blown up in a while.
Really itchy trigger finger.
And he's not like telling you exactly what's happening on screen through dialogue. Those are the two most important parts of a Michael Bay movie.
So they have a time limit now to drill into the thing. Ben Affleck has a time limit to get to Harry to even be helpful, and they're talking about that time limit.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of countdowns here.
Yeah. There's another time limit that happens because what happens is Harry ends up blowing up the drill while drilling into the ground. Of course he does, right?
Right.
The tranny, of course, blows, and you lose another friend who's barely in this movie. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah, the fat guy that was inside Herman's head.
Steve Buscemi does lose his shit and fire off the machine guns, and that's when we lose Max, who is the fat guy.
I thought that happened after that.
No, because that's why I write it down. It happened at 156.
Right. You win.
Bad news is given to Earth because they assume it's not that they're done.
Yeah.
Because they still think Ben Affleck's dead. They still think AJ's dead.
There's no other teams working.
Yeah.
It's just bad news all around.
Okay, so Ben Affleck shows up just in time, though. Once martial law gets declared on Earth and everybody's freaking out, that's when Ben Affleck shows up.
You know what's going to happen if I think the whole world's going to end? I'm not going to give a fuck about your martial law. That's what's going to happen.
Right. No, I'm going to shoot me.
Or any law.
It's time for the purge.
Right. Let's purge now. Let's purge space.
Let's purge.
So AJ shows up with the other armadillo.
Ready to go.
Ready to fucking rock and roll. They're going to fucking blast through these last 250 feet in an hour or some shit.
And throughout this, we get to see Liv Tyler go from sad to looking sad to being sad to looking sad to being
Mostly
sad.
vacant. Mostly vacant.
Liv Tyler does not necessarily express the range of emotions that one may be experiencing in a situation like that because she's terrible.
She does tackle Billy Bob
She's
Thornton.
not Winona Ryder bad, but she's bad.
Liv Tyler always looks like she forgot why she walked into the room.
Yes.
Vacant.
Vacant.
Like all my favorite buildings.
This whole movie, everybody loses sight. This is it. This is it.
There's
This is the end of humanity.
no concept that literally everyone will be dead.
Liv Tyler turned this movie down twice before she accepted it, actually. Another
Wow.
weird fact.
So they were desperate.
Dude, this whole movie had casting problems.
So AJ's there. They start drilling. It's pretty uneventful for the most
cowboys
part.
through it.
Yeah, you gotta trust me. If you're gonna trust me, now's the time to trust me. Blah 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 blah. This is the relationship. Blah 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 blah.
Why aren't you my real dad or something?
So,
I don't know.
I think he's like, I
Why
really
are
want
we
to hug,
making
but
our
I'm
own
up in the
movie?
machine doing the thing or whatever. So don't hug me. AJ it's pretty uneventful from there on out until
I have like one note. God, Liv Tyler sucks.
God, Liv Tyler sucks. Liv, if you're listening, stop. We don't need you. We 60 people have listened to us this week. That's how many that is. Dog people.
Dog people. 768 dog people. We did the math.
Sure, sounds good, Richard. I mean, yes, we did the math. Man,
They're on their last tranny. He makes it through.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine until
a bent piece of pipe. They got to go in and cut it out, and so somebody drops down, and there's a gas releases.
There's an asteroid fucking storm.
There's a whole lot that doesn't matter.
And then a detonator breaks on the nuclear bomb because of the asteroid storm.
Yeah. That was one of those things where they may have had to do that anyway. So they need to blow this fucking thing up. But
they're nervous on Earth. They're like, you know what? We'll just blow it up now. They're never going to be able to drill. They don't have communication. So like communications.
They were just ready to blow them all up.
Yeah.
And hope to God that it worked.
So they start the nuke 5-minute countdown.
And rather than looking at it as the end of life on Earth, Bruce Willis is, of course, this bullshit bureaucracy. Fuck you, man.
Fuck the government, man.
Yeah, just go to hell, dude.
The pilot was the only responsible person. He's like, this is the end of the world. I'm doing everything I need to do to make...
Whatever...
Pulled a gun on Bruce Willis because we had to have a gun.
Well, you got to have a gun in space. What do you got a gun in space for?
I don't know, real useful.
That was a line in the movie. What do you have a space gun in space?
Why do you have a gun in space? Man. Yeah. But he goes, you know what? We have to blow this thing up because you can't drill any further. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it into the
Bruce
into the
strangles him with space tongs. This is before Ben Affleck shows up.
It actually is a little bit. It's a little bit out of order, but regardless, they were going to blow this thing up, and there was a big fight, another couple countdowns.
Don't forget about the space tongs.
The space tongs. Another couple countdowns. They defused the bomb last minute. Somebody cut the red wire. Literally, somebody cut the red and blue wire, and they couldn't figure out what wire to cut, and they picked the right one last second. Come on. Are you
changing their mind. After changing their mind.
After changing their mind. Are you fucking kidding me?
Seriously. All right, so detonator. We need somebody to detonate it, and guess what?
Draw straws. So they draw straws. Ben Affleck loses. AJ loses.
Yeah, but AJ's got to kill himself.
But you know what? Bruce Willis is like, you need to be giving it to my daughter.
Well,
hard.
the first he's like, let's go down there. I'll show you what you got to do, and we'll get out of here. And you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it.
It was all lies.
It was a ruse.
was
He
a
gets down there, and he's like, fuck you, peace out, I'm doing this. And he kicks AJ back to Earth.
Escalating problems, 600 death clocks. But now we're near the end. Kind of.
Maybe.
Because
it
there's
takes
more countdowns.
so long.
The spaceship has what?
Bruce Willis
3 minutes to get off
to just
the rock.
fucking die.
Yeah. The spaceship has 3 minutes to get off the rock. They have, of course, have problems taking off, like 6 problems that I couldn't even follow at this point.
You know what? The one thing that really stood out to me is that after they got to Earth, they did not have any problems landing the ship.
Right. Finally, the problems were gone.
They get away from the asteroid just in the nick of time for Bruce Willis to blow it up.
But Bruce Willis had 3 problems while trying to blow it up.
Of course.
There was another asteroid storm. He dropped the fucking detonator.
He fell down a hole.
Fell down a hole. And then he waits. So the asteroid's supposed to hit this field, and there's like that's like the point
The
of no
zero
return.
barrier.
Yeah. And 1 second left on that fucking clock. He's talking to his daughter about how after he's chased this detonator down, after everything has gone wrong that could possibly go wrong, he still waits.
He's got to have this heartfelt dad moment.
He trusts NASA's math, which has been wrong throughout this entire movie. They got nothing right at NASA other than the fact that
The
nuclear
asteroid is
bombing-
there.
And
Yeah.
they found the 168 problems retrospectively.
Yeah.
They got shuttles to the asteroid successfully.
Yeah.
Their math is not completely flawed.
Regardless, I wouldn't trust it.
There were some errors.
I wouldn't trust that crucial second to be,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think
would
Billy Bob
certainly-
Thornton is the space boss we want or need.
Yeah.
So it takes forever for me. There's flashbacks to stupid fucking Liv Tyler
whole
getting
life
married. It's
flashes
just,
above.
oh,
There
God.
was-
And it's all
positive
revolving around
things,
his daughter.
the
You know,
movie.
he
It's all-
punched somebody that didn't deserve it at some point. Why isn't he suffering through that?
Yeah.
Like, I still.
Or glorifying it.
I misspoke in front of my class in 4th grade, and I still think about that. Haunts me to this day.
Yeah.
Bruce
I got
Willis,
caught
no, it's
peeling
just
glue off my
daughter.
hand in 3rd, and I wake up at night over it sometimes. Yeah.
I hope when I
Are his
die
flashbacks.
and I see my life flash before my eyes, it's all Bruce Willis.
Hey, but you know what?
Bruce Willis's life.
Bruce Willis's life flashing before my
He
eyes.
probably couldn't have dreamed something as ugly as her actual tool-coated wedding.
All right. I mean, I guess that pretty much carries us to the conclusion of this dumbass movie.
Yeah.
Which was an ugly wedding.
Which is, yeah, it's an ugly wedding. Bruce Willis is dead. Owen Wilson is dead.
You'll
The
never
fat guy
have
is
your life
dead.
back.
Their pictures
You-
are in the room, though, which counts for something.
Sure. Yeah, they got totally to see the wedding, even though they're dead. God, this movie's bad.
What
All
happened
right.
to my life?
Yeah, we're gonna have some existential crises here.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in just a little bit. We hope nobody missed a thing because we're done with this movie. And after this break, we will talk about how we felt about it, which I'm pretty sure you've kind of figured out by now.
You'll all be surprised.
Yeah, it might be a big shocker.
The Richter score's coming
the
for
Richter
you.
scale is on its way. Right
And you
after
don't want to
this.
miss a thing.
You don't want to miss a thing.
Don't do that.
Don't miss
Make her stop. Please make her stop.
There are those who think that launching shuttles into outer space is a routine matter. But in this case, it's a matter of our planet's survival. The mission: land on a comet the size of Texas before it lands on us. Produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, directed by Michael Bay.
All right, and we are back. We're going to give you our final thoughts and finally close this disturbing chapter in all of our lives.
For the last time. This will be the last time I watch this movie.
Oh, I'm never watching this movie again.
It's my dad's favorite movie.
Your dad is a ding dong.
Yeah, your dad and I.
He's a bit of a dingus.
Did your dad listen to the podcast?
No.
Make sure he listens to this one. Ed, you're a ding dong.
Come on,
I'm
Ed.
sorry, Dad.
Come on, Ed.
You're a bit of a ding dong.
I'll give you 100 movies. I will
We
send-
discussed this at lunch the other day.
I will send you 10 movies, Ed.
No.
Out of the
All
game.
right,
I
but
don't know. I don't think
we are going to let Richard speak his mind about this movie. We're going to give him his final thoughts.
There were things I liked about this movie, but they were few and far between. And with 2.5 hours, like I said, probably 4 times. I don't know how many times it's going to make it into the podcast, but this movie would have been awesome if it was 90 minutes. I really honestly believe that. The plot was loose, but you wouldn't have time to think about it with 90 minutes. You wouldn't have been like, it's so stupid, they're drillers, but they gave you so much time to think about how stupid this movie was. It almost ruined it for itself. The sound in this movie is amazing. Some of the special effects, especially for 1998, were incredible. But overall, this movie just lacked cohesion. And I give it a 5.2 on the Richter scale.
5.2 on the Richter scale. All right.
That's precise.
We always do. What's the point of having a point if you're not going to use it?
You got to use it.
Liz, what do you think?
What do you got, buddy?
It was my dad's favorite movie. Have I brought that up yet?
So you're giving it an 8?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 on there. There's no 10 out of 10.
No.
It's the Lister scale. There's no
No.
out of anything.
Fuck, I don't know. It was bad. It was too long.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
Say something positive. You got to have something good in there.
Start with the positive, end with the
Okay.
negative. That way everybody knows that
Hold
we
on.
hated it.
All right, I'm starting with the positive. Here we
All right,
go.
here comes the positivity train.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh shit, where is it?
She just has, it's over.
She's got a little notebook. It's the cutest little notebook I think I've ever. She probably can fit this one movie in it and nothing else.
All the important parts.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
This is my favorite part.
Favorite part.
This is the part that means the most.
The one.
Let's drill through this turd.
Let's drill through. Okay, that's the one. All right. So, what do you hate about this movie other than everything? Is there anything specific? What about the set design? You always say good things about sets.
I mean, it's cool that they use the NASA stuff. That's awesome. But
How do you feel about Fancy Space Rock?
Everything was real in
Space
this
Rock,
movie.
It was like a video game. It was sweet. It was unrealistic and stupid, and the explanations were terrible. But I was pretty, I guess.
right.
It wasn't unwatchable. I compare things like this to things like Miracle Mile. So
Right.
it was a lot better time than Miracle Mile.
Different
but it still wasn't
perspective
that
once
great.
you've seen some of those movies, right?
It is, yeah, but I would give it just on the length of it alone, a 3.7.
Holy crap, that's
low.
brutal.
It hurt to
Man.
watch, and all those Steven Tyler songs, and they played them more than once. It wasn't like they
You
just
are
let
a
us hear it
heartless
once.
monster.
She was a trooper, though. She watched this movie while I was gone and then rewatched parts of it again
wow.
with me.
You had
I
to
watched
watch
it
that twice?
Yeah. I really put some effort into this one, and it
I
did
feel
not
like
pay
twice
off.
is the limit,
Yeah.
lifetime
Total,
limit of how many times
yeah.
you should watch this movie.
Great, I
deserve
filled
a
my
medal.
quota, and it's
Yeah.
done now.
You're
Trophy.
The
Move
pain
on with my
is
life.
no longer a part of you.
Into a positive direction.
So before you start your review, Greg, 2 more notes about the sets. One, the oil rig is real too, in a very expensive place to be filming it. And they got lucky; they got to do it there. And the launches were actually filmed by Disney themselves. They put up cameras, so those launches were all real launches too. So there's a lot of accuracy in the sets in this movie. What do you think of this movie, Greg?
So overall, it's not the most atrocious piece of garbage I've ever seen. I don't know that any of the movies we've watched are truly on that level. We talked about that briefly the other day.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Close.
I don't know. Your Indianapolis thing sounds pretty bad. I
USS
got to miss that
Indianapolis
one,
was bad.
fortunately.
It was really bad.
But it was a little redeeming.
You know, this movie has the acting is pretty good. The dialogue is reasonable, if not a bit silly. The story is clearly one of the biggest faults of this movie, and the complete lack of science really really stands out. All told, I'd probably give this movie like a 5.0. Yeah, on the Gregter scale.
All right.
I'm going to keep this one pretty low. It was not the worst thing in the world, but certainly far, far, far from the best thing in the world.
It's not as bad as its reputation, but it's pretty bad.
I mean, if I were just like wanting to turn something up and watch a loud movie, this would have been fine if I hadn't seen it before.
You won't be sad if you're vacuuming and you miss a couple minutes. That's all I'm saying.
You won't be sad if you miss the whole thing.
Because you're vacuuming.
Right.
Just take a glance every once in a while. You'll get it. You'll pick it up.
Figure it out.
Oh, well, that's it, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
thanks for
great.
listening to another episode of What a Disaster. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, of course, you can feel free to check out the show notes, follow us on WadPod. Actually, we're PodWad on Twitter. We're What a Disaster, obviously, on Facebook. Instagram, we are Wad Podcast. And you can, of course, please subscribe, listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. We'd love it. You can also call, leave us a voicemail or a text. Our phone number is 209-781-9113. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next week. What are we going to watch next week?
I
Did
think
we
I
already
get to
decide
pick it,
on
you
that?
guys. It's going to be so bad.
Oh, you're going to pick? You haven't picked yet?
No,
Do you
I
have
haven't picked yet.
Any choices that are bouncing around?
No, I'm not going to ruin the surprise.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to
fuck you, listeners.
Surprise and suffer
I
surprisingly.
don't have any ideas. That's why. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I have no ideas.
I'm not withholding.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later.
Tip your astronauts.
Don't forget to tip your astronauts. Signing off. This is Mission
Billy
Control.
Bob Thornton,
Billy
Space
Bob
Boss.
Grego. Dope. Miss you.
Love you.
Bye. Welcome back to another episode of What I Will Watch, Discuss, and Review the disaster movie as close to weekly as we possibly can stand. I'm Greg Allen, and as usual, I'm joined by Rickard Zawasinski.
Okay.
And Liz Bajor.
Not sure. I want to dignify this with a response.
This week,
You just did.
we let Richard pick the movie, and he picked Armageddon, which is a bad choice.
2.5 hours of an emotion fest.
God, it's so heart wrenching.
It was so.
All right, so let's re-record that now. That's the sound of a rocket. I mean,